Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. I said when I closed the channel, rather when I stopped producing videos, that I wouldn't do any more creation for the channel, but I've decided to do a few videos, mostly my own replays, and maybe a few double headers where we have the same player, maybe in the same tank on similar maps. Anyway, this video was waiting in the line to be done, and you're looking at an SU-100Y, the Tier 6 Soviet tank destroyer known as the box tank. It wasn't actually called that in reality, but it's a pretty efficient tank, and it's located on the south spawn of Siegfried Line under my command. Game started. Well, it's a 13cm gun on a Tier 6 hull. In fact, it's this SU-100, well, it's the T-100Y or T-100 tank, which is a heavy tank. And they only made one prototype and they didn't put it in production. But basically, it's a Tier 8 gun in a Tier 6 tank. And that makes a huge difference because the alpha of this gun is pretty big. 440 alpha, 196mm of penetration, and with the premium rounds, it will go up to 510 alpha with 171mm of penetration. Now you can see I've gone over to the right side of the map and I've knocked down a few trees for cover, especially the tree behind me, because that is my fallback position if the enemy does push on this side of the map, and I have had to do that on quite a few occasions. Not just in this battle, I've fought this position before, so I do know it can be quite effective. I pull back to work out where the point where I can use the bush mechanic is and sit on the edge of that spot. Now I've got a fairly good view up the zero line and I can see a tree go down up there, so I know there's an enemy tank up there. Just can't see them at the moment. I've indicated on the map where I think they are. Now what I didn't realise at the time is there's a friend of mine actually in this game, D-Tronics UK. He's in the M10 RBFM, and he actually did send me a message. Hi, Bigger Stickers. That was my American account, my NA account, my alter ego. And I just saw an enemy tank sitting behind that bunker, and I've just been hit by an enemy type T-34. I fired a round in, but didn't penetrate the target. So although I've been hit, and there's the P-43 Biz that I aimed at. That's the Italian tank with a 90mm gun. He takes a round for 459, which he's not going to be happy about because that is a high roll. And there's still a T-67 sitting behind him on that corner. I'm almost loaded. Fire a round in straight away. 13.44 seconds is the reload time, which is comparable with other Tier 8 13cm guns. So it's actually quite a good reload if you think about it, considering the amount of damage it will do. The Type T-34 fired a round in. I think he fired blind. I'm not so sure he saw me. He just fired at the bushes in the hope that somebody was there. And he must have realised, yes, there was somebody there. But if he kept firing at the bushes, I'd fire one back and he would probably die in the process. So you can see that D-Tronics is actually quite far up at the front. He's in grid square F6 at the moment, or on the edge of F6. It's a T-34 making its way behind those buildings. The Type T-34 that fired in my direction just given up trying to shoot in this way. I think actually he missed out on an opportunity there, because he might have actually ended up doing severe damage, because the box tank's armour is very thin. That is one of the luckiest Panzer T-25 drivers around. That thing's got no armour, and yet he just bounced around that hit the top of his turret. He must be looking at his gauge saying 440 alpha bounced. Yep, 440, that's the amount. He actually managed to bounce a 440 hit point round, and he must be counting his lucky stars and thinking, yeah, I need to buy a lottery ticket. Okay, the CDARL 44, I fired that shot in. It didn't seem to go anywhere, and yet it was dead center of the side of his vehicle. It should have penetrated. There's the Panzer T-25 on our team. I'm trying to get a shot. Yes! The ARL doesn't survive that round, which is surprising because I actually hit the front of his vehicle. But here comes a KV-2, the strong tank as far as Jingle's concerned. And yes, he takes a high roll for 449. But I was spotted that time. And I think I was probably spotted by these guys over here, but they couldn't do anything about it. I'm not loaded yet, but I am now. And yep, he took another round, another high roll, 441. Unfortunately, we've lost D-Tronics. He was taken out a little earlier while all the action was going on. So, up to just under 1,400 hit points of damage in this game so far. And I haven't got to get that much more to actually get the high caliber, at least the 20%. 531 is the amount I need to get if I'm going to get a high caliber. That's 20% of the enemy hit pool, but it doesn't guarantee I get the high caliber because somebody else could also have reached that spot already. But the scores are even at the moment, 9-all. And the enemy KV-1 is just outside my draw range. He's over the other side of the map. But I'm holding this position for the meanwhile because I'm basically holding down the right flank of this map. If the enemy was to push on the right side of the battlefield while I'm here, they're likely to come a cropper. Just check. Absolutely sure that nobody's coming down this way. I always feel a sense of responsibility, which is one of the reasons why I don't really pay much attention to chat during these battles. Simply because my mind is totally focused on doing the job that I'm here to do, which is to prevent my teammates from losing. And I realised that, unfortunately, we seem to be losing tanks out in the field. And now we have an advantage. There's only 3 left on the enemy team now, so I felt that I could pull away. Because from this position, I could engage any of the enemy tanks that came directly towards us. We're looking for a Type T-34, the guy who hit me, a T-67 and a Gorilla. We've got 2 RT and 2 tank destroyers. Myself and the Jagdpanzer IV. No sign of the enemy. No. Okay, I'm going to move then and start pushing. Now, I'm not going to go into the town where I could get ambushed by the T-67. It's a fairly fast and agile tank destroyer with a fairly good alpha. And this is a very big tank destroyer which is easy to hit. And lo and behold, here's the Type T-34 that hit me earlier in the game. I think he just saw me and my first shot misses. So I'm chasing after him now. But we saw where he was. He was actually in that channel on the other side. And there he is. Just in the rear. Try and line him up for one. Yep, get a nice big hit. Average roll. I was seen, and the M41 HMC got the kill on that one. So he was paying attention and managed to get splashed to take him out of the game. So there's only 2 left now, the T-67 and the Gorilla. Now my reasoning for going around the town, not through the town, as I said before, is I don't want to get ambushed by that T-67. If he got around me, I'd find it very hard to get my gun to bear on him, and so he would get an easy kill out of it. Whereas I'm fairly sure that the T-67, if he did try to make a dash for our cap, would probably come a cropper. And we found him out in the field, and the Jagdpanzer makes quick work of him. He was very low on hit points, but I was seen by the enemy. So I'm making my way towards the enemy cap area. The M44 went straight through the town without being spotted. Okay, we're looking for the Gorilla. Tier 5 German SPG. Making my way up the bank slowly. And there he is, he's actually behind me. And I suddenly realised, oh my god, if he's seen me, my sixth sense didn't go off, but If he's seen me, then I'm in a whole world of trouble because he's got a 15cm howitzer. But the M44 is very quick on the draw and he takes the gorilla out and we win the game. So, shows us 91 hit points short of a high caliber, but how did I actually do in that game? Well, surprisingly, I did get the high caliber in this one. You can see I also managed to get a second class tanker, and this was the first time I'd had a second class tanker on this account because I haven't played the box tank much on this account at all. And I actually managed to get a fire for effect rather I should say, for doing more damage than the hit points of my own vehicle, and of course that high caliber for dealing the most damage. My win rate was 4,333, which is super Unicum standard. But it was really basically that I managed to land quite a few shots that actually did do quite a lot of damage. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, I managed to get the highest damage in the game with 2,229 hit points of damage. The next highest scorer being the M44, got the last kill with 1,366. And after that, it was the Excalibur on the enemy team, 1205. When it came to kills, it was the Jagdpanzer 4 who did the best with 4 kills. 3 kills went to the M44, and I only managed to get the 1 kill. And where's D-Tronics? There he is. He got 540 hit points of damage, no kills, and 397 XP. When it came to XP, I was top on that one. I managed to get 815 base. 789 went to the Jagdpanzer 4. 785 went to the Panzer T25. I fired 11 rounds, got 8 direct hits, 6 penetration, damage of 2,229, of which 1,789 were at more than 300 meters. If we forego the rest of the details, actually, something I've been told, but a lot of people actually don't like me to read out the full results. They actually prefer it if I just skim through them so that they can actually then pick them up and pause the video. As you can see, I earned 53,107 credits profit, 30 bonds, and 2,812 experience points from the game. So, not a bad game in the box tank, a bit of a surprise, but it all came about because I chose to go to the right side of the map. I feel in this game there has to be a tank destroyer guarding the right side of the map to stop anybody making a quick thrust down the right side through the lakes area towards the cap. Because the Arty are very vulnerable. If somebody leaves the right side uncovered, and if everybody lemmings trains into the town, then there's nobody to guard the Arty, and the enemy can just make a quick home run straight down the right side and into the base, and it's all over very, very quickly. And you lose your Arty, and they lose their ability to help the team. So it's always a wise decision to go over to that side, but there's also another good reason, is that you do get great shots on some of the enemy tanks who are trying to push through the town, and they don't realise that they're being spotted from quite some distance away, and it could actually be lethal for them. So as long as you've got a pair of binos or optics, and you can spot the enemy in the town, but you're in a fairly good defensive position, with a fallback position, just in case the enemy does start firing at you. If they push down the right side, you've got that little bush or the tree rod that you can pull back to if necessary, and then try and use gun depression to try and help you. But yeah, so long as you cover the right side of the map, you should get good results, and you should be able to help them win the game. If there's nobody coming down the right side, of course, you might be able to do the same to them and shoot right up the right side of the map, quickly into the enemy cap area, and take out their tanks. In fact, on many occasions, I've actually played a light tank destroyer on the right side of the map and ended up, because my team was losing, I decided to go right up the right side with a couple of other tanks, and we went to the enemy cap, and despite the fact that we were outnumbered and there was only 4 of us left and something like 8 or 9 of the enemy left, we managed to cap out really quickly to win the game, simply because the enemy just wasn't paying attention to the right side of the map. So there you go. There will be another of these replays very shortly. I'll probably be doing 1 or 2 a day for the group, and as I said, I will be doing a few replays where there's a double header, 2 battles on 1 video. Thanks for watching.